The enemy says you are alone, and God says, I will never leave you. The enemy says nobody loves you, but God says, I love you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the messages. Whatever God is doing is for His glory. We give Him the honor. We give Him the praise. He's worthy to be praised and adored this morning. He is a good God. He loves you and He wants the best for you. Thank you so much for watching me. I love you. Happy Wednesday. Today, the word that the Lord gave me is they can do what they can. They can do what they can. I just love this because sometimes human beings, they think that they can put themselves as our God and they can detect what they can do. But I'm here to tell you that they've got a limit. A human being can say, okay, this is my house, go out, I'll get my key. He can say, this is my car, I won't let you drive it. That is their limit. But when it comes to God, nobody can limit Him. What He says, it's what He does. Human beings has got limits, but God doesn't have a limit. So if that God is for you, who can be against you? They can say you are not qualified for the job, but God says you are qualified. You are a masterpiece. Because God created us, what? In His own image and likeness. Don't let the enemy make you feel as if you are not worthy. So He is as we are in the world. God doesn't look at us. He looks at His Son Jesus. He doesn't look at us as sinners. He looks at His Son who came to die on the cross. That's what He looks every day. He doesn't look at what you have done. He doesn't. The enemy always will say, you can figure it out. And God says, I will direct your steps. Because He says in Proverbs 3, I'm not going to read it to you. Proverbs, you want to know which direction this is talking about. It's in Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. The enemy will say, you are tired. And God says, I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28 to 30. He said, come unto me, all ye heavy laden, and I will give you rest. The enemy says it is impossible. And God says, with me all things are possible. Luke 18:26-27. The enemy says, nobody loves you. But God says, I love you. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believed in Him should not perish, but what? Have everlasting life. The enemy will say, you can't forgive. God says, I forgive you. Of course. The enemy will always come and tell you what you have done. This is what you did. Lies upon lies. But God is looking at His Son on the cross. He's not looking at us now, what we have done. That's in Romans 8, verse 11. The enemy says it's not what. And God will say, it will be worth it. Romans 8:28. For all things work together for good to them that love the Lord, to them that are called according to His purpose. The enemy says you are not smart enough. Yeah, you are not smart for the job. We need smarter people. We need qualified people. And God says, I will give you wisdom. I will give you wisdom. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 30. The enemy will always says, you are not able. And God will say, you are able. Because He's able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can think or ask of. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8. The enemy says, you can't go on. And God will tell you, my grace is sufficient. Of course, He's giving us His grace for every situation in our life. There's no way that you can say that God didn't give you the grace to go through it. No, His grace is sufficient in whatever circumstance you go through, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, sorry. The enemy says you can't do it. And God says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Philippians 4 verse 13. The enemy says you can't manage. And God says, I will supply all your needs. That's in Philippians 4 verse 9. It says, my God will supply all my needs according to his riches and glory through Christ Jesus. The enemy says, I'm afraid. Yes, sometimes the enemy will put a fear in us. It's not every time that I come up and I want to preach. Some days I wake up and I just want to be by myself. Because the enemy will tell you, what are you doing? It doesn't want it. It doesn't want it. People don't watch you. The insult, the gossip, they don't even watch you. Yes, they don't watch you, so why should they even do a video? That's the enemy telling you that. And God says, I have not given you the spirit of fear. I'm not giving you the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, of sound mind. Because what the enemy wants is your mind. Because a person with a sound mind, it's very difficult to influence. Because if you're attacking me from every side and I have a sound mind, then you know that you've lost it. Because it doesn't matter where the attack is coming from, my mind is still sound. Because I focus on his word. I'm on his word 24/7. So whatever the enemy brings, whatever they throw, I have this. My mind is still focused on him and him alone. The enemy says you are alone. And God says, I will never leave you. Hebrews 13 verse 5. Of course, God is always with us. We know. That's why you just go back to Genesis 1. It says, in the beginning, God started his creation. The first day, light was created. The second day, the sky was created. The third day, dry land, sea, plants, and trees were created. And the fifth day, creatures that live in the sea and the creatures that fly were created. I mean, that's what we have to do. We have to know that who created all these things? It's only our God who did. That's why God is saying they can do what they can do. But there are some things it's only me who can do. So don't be afraid of what the enemy will throw at you. Don't be afraid of what human being will do. Because they have a limit. They have a limit. They can do whatever they do. But God has given them a limit. I always say that this artificial hair, this is an artificial, but nobody can add one hair to my hair. My natural hair, nobody can add one hair to it. Nobody can add anything to it. So this is the only person that you should be afraid. Respect people, respect authority. But the person that you should fear the most is God. Because he is the only person who can make you and make you. Nobody on this earth is in control of your life. God is in control. He's got you in the palm of your hand, in his hands. He is for you. He is with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Thank you so much for watching me. I pray that God should keep you today. God should keep you this week. God should keep you this month. God should keep you this year. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of the month. And enjoy the rest of the year. And until we meet again, shalom. Know that God loves you and he wants the best for you. I love you. The peace of God be with you and your entire husband. Bye now. Love you all. Happy Wednesday.